Hi, welcome. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad that you made it. And then if you're returning, thank you so much. What I do on this channel is I talk about what it's like to go all the way through your 20s and all the way through your 30s, either child-free or child-free by choice, and then deciding to change that at 40. So for me, I had my first baby at 40 and I just had my second baby at 43. I'm currently 5 weeks postpartum. I can't believe it's already been 5 weeks, but here we are. And my body's starting to feel pretty normal again. And so I've started exercising and doing some things. So that's been really, just really great. What I'm going to talk about today, though, is that we discovered that my newborn baby has a milk protein allergy. And we discovered that by doing an elimination diet. So first of all, what is a milk protein allergy? So it is an allergy that some kids have. I've seen, when I've been doing some reading, between 1% and 2% of little babies will get a milk protein allergy, and the majority of them will outgrow it right around or by age 3. So what this results in is whenever, because she's exclusively breastfed, when I ingest milk or milk products or dairy products, it goes into her system and it just really irritates her poor GI tract. So before we discovered what was going on, she was just having really, really loose stools, constant, like kind of leaking stool out of her poor little bum, having a really severe diaper rash, and was just uncomfortable and fussy. And so what we ended up doing is we went through several days of trying to figure out, okay, how do we help this poor kid? We put aloe on her little bum to try to calm it down. We used an antifungal, which seemed to help briefly, but that really didn't do much. And every time I changed her diaper, I was going through 4, 5, or 6 diapers just to get a new diaper on her because she was constantly leaking out of her poor little bum. So what we ended up doing is we called my midwife, who is helping us with the prenatal care for the first 6 weeks. And we said, hey, we don't know what's going on. It just seems like she's constantly leaking diarrhea, and we can't make her feel better. Her poor little bum is so red, and it's even starting to have some open sores. And we don't know what to do. We went to the midwife. She took a look at it. She realized that when I said leaking, like, I meant it. Like, this kid was constantly just pooping, and I couldn't get a diaper on her to save my life. And so what she recommended was some sunlight. So we did put some sunlight on her little bum by just taking her outside. Desitin, which is a diaper rash cream, and she said just to smear it on there, like frost it on there like a cake, and to just consistently keep it on there as much as possible, and then to get back to her in a week. So we did that, but the leaking symptoms weren't improving. Like, her diaper rash seemed to be improving a little bit, but the leaking wasn't improving. So we asked ChatGPT what could be going on, and it said that it was possible that she had some sort of food allergy. And anyway, after asking it about 1 million questions and ChatGPT reminding me that it's not a doctor, told me that it could be a food allergy, and the best way to figure it out was an elimination diet. So I went on an elimination diet. So what does that mean? It means that you take away everything out of your diet except just a few really, really low likelihood allergens. And then once your baby's symptoms resolve, you slowly start to add food back in. I'm on day 19 of the elimination diet. So her symptoms completely resolved in 2 weeks of just eating rolled oats, oat milk, blueberries, banana, and meat. That's all I'm eating. Oh, and sweet potatoes. And so once we got her symptoms good for about, so they were gone in 2 weeks. We gave it a few more days just to make sure that her symptoms were good. Her little booty healed. She was pooping normally. We were able to change her diaper and use only 1 diaper per diaper change. It's amazing. And so I added milk back in. So 4 days ago, I added milk back in, and then I had milk the next day. And on the 3rd day, her symptoms had returned, and her little booty, and so she started leaking again. Her little booty got really irritated again. And that lasted for, well, it actually calmed down, it seems, this morning. So she's sleeping right now, poor thing. So I had milk for 2 days. She had symptoms on the 3rd day, or actually had symptoms by the end of the 2nd day, all day the 3rd day, and she seems to be okay today on the 4th day. So I'm going to go it says you have to do it another 2 weeks. So I'm going to go for another 2 weeks on my strict elimination diet. And then I'm going to start adding in other foods again. And the other foods that I'm going to get to add in are going to be things like eggs and legumes and nightshades and certain vegetables. And just slowly try to see what foods might irritate her GI tract through the breast milk. Well, now I did end up at one point going to see a pediatrician because it just seemed like her symptoms weren't improving. And the pediatrician was very, very sweet. And she told me that if breastfeeding doesn't work out, that is okay. And that if I needed to seek another route to getting my baby fed, not to have any shame about that. And I really appreciated her message. It really came from a place of compassion. And I just thanked her. But to me, it's really important for me to breastfeed. So I don't care that I don't get to have dairy for the next year or so, or possibly even coffee. I completely cut out coffee too. No coffee, no chocolate, no sugar. So we will see, but it just seems like for me, if I can just alter my diet a little bit so that I can continue to breastfeed my baby, for me, that's going to be worth it. So I'm going to continue. So really that's it. Her symptoms seem to be fine now. I'll keep you updated on this elimination diet. She seems to be really reactive to dairy and dairy proteins. The good news is what I read is that most kids will outgrow it by age 3. So hopefully she will be able to have dairy in her life. But right now we're just going to be a dairy-free pair. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, I would super love it. Have a great day.